This is the intro to Long Hair Pretty Nail Show, yeah.
Give it up for the notification squad. These were the first 3 comments in my last video. If you want a chance to be featured, make sure you hit that notification bell and come show your girl some love when I drop a new video. Hey y'all, what's up and welcome back. So in today's video, I'm going to be doing a fun Halloween nail design. These are my natural nails and I got to get these things together. So the first thing I do is take my cuticle pusher and push back my cuticles. And then I take the opposite end and scrape up any of that dead skin. And I do that for all of my nails. Alright, so next I take my cuticle clean bit and I work that around the cuticle areas as well. So this is after all of the cuticle prep. So I take my hand file and I'm just going to file down the length of my nails and then also buff the surface. These are the products that I'm going to use for this nail design. I will link them down below. And for this nail design, I'm going to use nail forms. It's been a while since I've used these. These are my favorite. I think I just get the best shape with these. And I get these from Amazon, so I will link those down below. Alright, so once all of the nail forms are on and my products are laid out, I'm going to do my prep. This is the Gelish pH Bond and it's a nail dehydrator. I'm just going to apply that to all of the nails. And then I'm going to go in with the Harmony Pro Bond and this is a acid-free primer. And the brush I'm using today is the Valentino number 10 acrylic brush. Alright, so I'm going to start off with a large bead of clear acrylic and I'm just going to place that a little bit over the natural nail and the form. And I'm just going to form the tip of the nail first. Now these babies are going to be long, so I just like to work on the tip first and then I work backwards. This acrylic brush from Valentino has become one of my favorites. I love how the tip stays nice and pointy when the brush is wet. And yeah, I just like working with it. It's a nice size for me. It's not too big. So this is one of my favorites. So if you guys are interested, I will leave the link down below. It is pricey, but you know, when you get a little better at nails, you kind of just want better products. So I think that's about where I am now. So after laying down the clear, I'm just going to go in with that black and I'm pretty much using this as a paint. So it's not very thick. And I'm being very careful around the cuticle area. Like I am so scared of black because if it gets on the skin, it's just over with. But yeah, I'm working with this very thin, just painting it on because I just want to have this as a base for the next step. Next, I'm going in with a Glam and Glitz acrylic and this color is Dark Dare. It is a gorgeous black and hollow glitter acrylic. It is so pretty. But yeah, I'm going in with this and I'm just putting down a very thin layer and kind of using the tip of my brush to move the pieces where I want them to be to just create a nice little galaxy effect, I guess. So once I let that dry down a bit, I'm just going to encapsulate it with clear acrylic. So for the ring finger, I'm going to start off with the clear on the tip as well. So this nail is going to be a liquid nail, and I am attempting to improve on the vampire nails that I did from last year. If you guys didn't see those, I will link it down below. But yeah, this one is going to be liquid inside of it. So I'm just prepping and, you know, starting with just a clear base of this. For the nail bed, I'm going to go in with that medium blush color. I don't want my natural nails to show through underneath all of the clear, so that is why I'm going in with this color. And I'm just going to finish up building up this nail with the clear acrylic. So for the middle finger, I did a full nail of clear, and for the index finger here, I'm just going to do a base of clear over my natural nail because I will be going in with some color and I don't want to stain my real nails. So that is why I'm just putting down this really thin layer of clear over my natural nail. Next, I'm going to go in with the red acrylic, and I'm just going to form the entire nail with this color. Alright, so this is after all of the nails are formed, and I'm just going to take them off of the nail forms. And do my shaping and filing. Alright, so this is after the nails have been filed, shaped, and buffed, and I just love this length. I feel like old Evie is back. Alright, so now to the fun part. So I'm going to take this Venalisa builder gel and I'm going to form the bottom of the tank for the liquid nail that I'm doing. So taking the backing of the nail form paper, I'm just going to sketch out how much I need to, what shape I need to make. And that is just so satisfying to watch. But I'm just gonna grab a big glob of gel and make a long rectangle and just trying to make this nice and even. I don't want it too thick, but I don't want it thin as well because it will be holding the liquid. So just a nice even layer of gel. let it sit for about 10 seconds and then I put it into my nail lamp to cure. After 60 seconds, I'm take it out the nail lamp and I'm gonna wipe it down because it's sticky. So I just wiped it with some alcohol and then I peel it off of the backing, and this is what I have, and it is the perfect bottom for the nail. Alright, so next I'm going to clip off the bottom here because I need to create a stopper for the bottom of my nail. So I'm just going to cut and try to make this as custom fitting as I can, and using a pair of sharp scissors to really kind of cut that gel little piece here. So once I got the shape that I want, I'm just going to get a pair of tweezers and hold it down and then apply some gel around the edges. And this was pretty much useless because the gel was only on one side of the flap here. So I had to go ahead and wipe all of this off, and I'm going to try again. So this time I'm just going to apply gel to the inside of the nail and then try to sit this inside of the gel. This was very difficult because the gel was just very loose and it just wouldn't kind of hold this, but I made it work just long enough to get this into the nail lamp and I was able to cure it. But it was a balancing act. So this is after curing, and this is what it looks like. So now I'm just gonna take some more gel and fill in all of the gaps. Now, one thing I didn't like is that it's still moving. It's not very stiff at all. So I just thought that I would just pack in more gel and hopefully it would be a little more sturdy. So after filling all of the gaps, I went ahead and cured that for 60 seconds. And this is what happened. It just fell right out the nail. So attempt number 3. I'm going to take a small bead of clear acrylic and I place that inside the nail. And then I'm just gonna smush this piece into the acrylic and kind of wait for it to firm up a bit. And then taking my brush to smooth out the edges and to pack it right up against that gel piece. And of course, filling in all of the gaps. All right, so now I'm gonna take more of the clear acrylic and I'm gonna place that on the edges of my nail. And use this to attach the long gel flat piece to the bottom of my nail. And I was just trying to hold this in place while the acrylic sets, but it just kept moving and flapping, and I was just like, all right, just hold in there. Just please stay. But it wasn't working. So yeah, attempt number 4. I decided to go in with larger beads of clear, and that one was way too wet. At this point, I was getting a bit frustrated, like, okay, what the hell am I doing? But I decided to just keep going, and so yeah. With the bigger beads of clear, I just thought that it will hold this in place with no problem. So I just went ahead and smushed that in there and let it set. And thank God it held it in place. So now I'm just gonna take wet beads and kind of fill in the gaps around the sides of the nail. And not too wet, but I did want the beads wet because I kind of want them to seep in underneath and kind of seal everything, because this thing will be holding liquid, so I just need to make sure that it is sealed. So yeah, I just pretty much take my time to do small beads around the side. And just fill in any gaps. And finally, we have a tank that is attached. So everything is nice and sturdy. As you can see, I can wiggle it without it coming off, which is so thankful.
Yay! Yay! Yay!
So I decided I wanted to do a second liquid nail on my thumb, and I went ahead and did the same thing. But since I know what to do now, this one went a lot faster. All right, so after both of the tanks are formed, I'm just going to use my scissors to cut off the extra gel pieces. And I'm going to use my hand file to do the final shaping, making sure to be extra careful because if I file too much, I just ruined all of that hard work. So this is after the tank has been filed, and as you can see, it looks perfect. So now I have these syringes that I got from Amazon with the blunt tips, and I'm just gonna open these up. I need 2 because I'm doing liquid and the blood simulation. And I swear this brought me right back to the old me. I used to be a pharmacy tech and had to use these things all the time. And I'm so glad I'm not there anymore. So for the liquid, I'm going to use coconut oil. And for the blood, I'm using red food coloring. So I'm just going to draw up a little bit of this, and it looks like blood in a syringe. And I was trying to get the air out, but it kind of just went everywhere. This stuff is so messy. And in the other syringe, I'm just going to draw up a little bit of the oil. So I'm going to fill up the tank with the coconut oil first. And then I'm going to try to do a small amount of the food coloring, but it just comes out so fast. So I'm just trying to see if I could get some of the oil out. I think I got too much liquid. I want to make sure that this moves. So I was trying to take some out, and I think I took out too much, and it just wasn't as wet as I wanted it to be. So I decided to put some more back in, but I ended up sucking in some food coloring. My God, this was just a mess. But I was able to finally get it right. And I'm just testing out the flow here. So I'm kind of plugging up the top there to see if I like it. So once I'm satisfied, I'm just going to wipe the whole nail down with alcohol just to get rid of all of that oil. And then I'm going to seal the top with acrylic, making sure that this bead is on the drier side because I don't want it to just seep into the nail. So make sure it's kind of dry, and then I smooth out the sides. And voila, I finally have my successful liquid nail. And I repeat the same thing for my thumb. All right, so this is after all of the liquid nails are done, and I am loving how they turned out. All right, so to finish off the nail design, I'm gonna go in with the Madam Glam Perfect Black Gel Polish, and I'm going to paint my middle fingernail. And I just did one coat of this and cured that in the nail lamp for 60 seconds. And then I went over that with the Kiara Sky Velvet Matte Gel Top Coat and applied a nice even layer and cured for 60 seconds. Next, I'm going in with the Poochie's Nails White Gel Paint, and I'm going to attempt to draw the Scream mask. So I got a tip from Femi. She was using a small dotting tool to draw, and I was like, I never thought of that. And it actually made it a lot easier to kind of sketch out what I wanted to do, but that didn't turn out right. So for the second time, it did make it a lot easier to kind of sketch out what I wanted to do. Just sometimes when you're sketching with the nail art brush, it's kind of soft and just kind of pops from under you. At least with the dotting tool, it's kind of like a pencil, you know. But I do clean up the lines with the nail art brush. So once I like the basic shape, I'm just gonna fill that in with more of the white gel paint. And I cured that in my nail lamp for 60 seconds. So now I'm going to take the black gel polish and work on the eye socket. When it came to the small details, the dotting tool was so much easier to use. I was able to really sketch this out, and it was pretty much like using a pencil, or I guess one of those fountain pens or whatever. So once I fill in the shape like I did before, I just kind of fixed the corners and stuff, but I decided that I didn't quite like that shape, so I wiped it off and I'm gonna do it again. So I did have pictures of the scream mask put up on my phone just for reference, and I was using that, you know, to kind of look at while I was drawing. But yeah, the dotting tool just made things a whole lot faster. This was actually the fastest I've done hand-drawn art in a long time. So once I redid that eye socket, I went ahead and cured that because I didn't want to mess that up. And now I'm working on the mouth and just filling that in. It was pretty easy because it's just a long oval or a half oval. And I just used my cleanup brush to really crispen up those edges. And I went ahead and cured that in the nail lamp. And then finally, I'm just gonna work on the nose. But I didn't quite like where I placed that. I just needed to go down just a tinge. And I liked where this was placed so much better. So I went ahead and cured that. And now I'm gonna go in with another layer of the matte gel top coat, and I also placed that on the index finger as well. So for the index finger, I'm taking black gel polish and I'm creating drips. So for my middle finger, I wanted to go ahead and do some drips as well, and I'm using this Joya Mia red gel polish that I like to use because it looks like blood. So yeah, I'm just going to do a few drips, dripping over the scream mask. And for my ring and thumbnail, I just did some barbed wire inspired lines just to bring this whole Halloween look together. All right, so finally I'm going in with my favorite gel top coat, and this is the Poochie's Super Shine Gel Top Coat. And for the matte nails, I just want to place this over the drips because I do want to keep the whole nail matte and just the drips to be glossy, and I cured that just to make sure it wouldn't move. And then I just apply the gel top coat over all of the nails, and I just love how this glitter comes to life. And the moment that I've been waiting for is to see how the tank was gonna look, and it is just super clear and gorgeous. And I also put the gel top coat on the underside of the nail as well. So my thumbnail wasn't as clear as I would have liked. I guess my monomer was a bit dirty, I guess, and I just didn't realize it. So definitely make sure to clean your monomer if you want your clear to be super clear. So I do a final cure in my nail lamp for 60 seconds, and then I apply my cuticle oil. And this is the finished look. I had so much fun creating these nails. I believe this was the most challenging nail set that I've ever done, and I am just so proud of myself. I am so happy that I was able to improve on the vampire liquid nails from last year. I believe these are just so much better, and they're not as wide because I didn't have to use tips. So I just really like how these turned out, and I'm excited to do more. This took it out of me. I can't even tell you guys how many hours it took me to do these. But the finished product is just so satisfying. Like, that movement is just crazy. I can't believe that I was able to do this.
This is the outro to the Long Hair Pretty Nail Show. Yeah.